Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and this fall long we're going to look at AWS Transit Gateway as a way of doing peered connections. It has a distinct advantage over regular VPC peering in that it can use a hub and spoke model, which gives you a lot of flexibility for connecting VPCs. It's not limited to just 4 connected to a single VPC. You can have as many as you want. In theory, because the number is very high, but there is a cost for Transit Gateway, as we're seeing 0.05 for Transit Gateway attachments. That's if you want to do virtual appliances. And there's an additional charge here for 1 cent. Is that 1 cent? It looks like 10 cents, but it's 1 cent. 1 cent or 0.5 for attachments. So that can add up very quickly. So you have to really consider if you want or would benefit from utilizing transit gateways, but let's go ahead and see how this works. I do have general instructions here. It looks very similar to peering. We're going to create a transit gateway, attach your VPCs to your transit gateway, add routes between them. I'm going to do everything through ClickOps here because this is a newer service and I honestly haven't done much with it. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm sure it'll be very easy. What I want to do is create 2 VPCs, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And I'm going to say create a VPC here. This will be A. And I want to have, for this, I'm just thinking about this for a moment. We'll have no private subnets. We'll just have one public subnet for each of them. We'll say none here. I'm going to go ahead and create this one. We'll view our VPC. We'll go ahead and create ourselves our B VPC. And so we'll say 12. Well, hold on, we'll go to VPC more first, but we'll say 12.0.016. And we'll say 1AZ, no private subnets, none VPC endpoints. So we'll go ahead and create that. I hope I didn't create the other one there, the VPC endpoint for that one. But now we have 2 VPCs. And the idea is that we want to peer these together. If we just refresh this here, this is actually B, so I'll just rename this to B so I don't get confused. There we go. And so the idea is that I want to deploy an instance in one, but for now I'll just set up the transit gateway between them. So I'm looking for that down below here, and I believe that it would be this, so transit gateway. And we'll go ahead and create our transit gateway. So just say my transit gateway, and we'll let it use whatever the default ASN is. I'm assuming if we leave it empty, it will default to something. So it says you can use the default ASN or provide a private ASN. So we'll let it use the default there. We have a bunch of options here. Seems like something to me. Transit gateway CIDR block says it's optional. You can specify a 24 CIDR block or larger. You can associate any public private range. Not exactly what I need to do here, so I'm just going to leave it alone. It'll optionally set it here. Auto accept shared attachments. We're not doing attachments per se. We're going to definitely attach VPCs, but I don't think it's the same thing as other stuff here. So we'll go ahead and create that transit gateway. We're going to wait for that to be created. We'll be back here in just a moment. All right, so after waiting just a few minutes, our transit gateway is ready. So we're supposed to be able to attach VPCs to it. So let's take a look here and see what we can do. We can modify the transit gateway, share it. But what we really need to do is actually attach those VPCs. Let's go back and take a look at the instructions here. Attach your VPCs. Oh, we do use a transit gateway attachment. Okay, so we'll open the VPC, navigate to transit gateway attachments, and attach them that way. All right, so on the left-hand side, we'll go down to transit gateway attachments, and we'll create the transit gateway. So my attachment A. This will be for, oh, we can attach other things. Yeah, we know that because we saw it in the documentation earlier, or in our slide, sorry. So we have A, and that seems fine to me. So we'll go ahead and create that. One thing I didn't realize is that they're probably in different subnets, which I don't think really matters. We will then go ahead and create another attachment. So this would be my attachment B, and we'll drop this down. We'll choose B in this case. And they just happen to be in the same subnet, so that's great. So now those are connected. I think that we needed to do something else for routes. So a route table includes dynamic, static routes, etc. Configure a route table that has a destination for non-local routes and target the transit gateway attachment ID. So we'll go over to our route tables. And in here we have, this one's supposed to be B, but that's just what happens when we name things a certain way. We'll go into this route, and the idea is we want to route from everywhere to our transit gateway. Transit gateway. And why am I not allowed to select one here? I'm going to give this a hard refresh. So I'm not 100% sure as to why it's not showing up, as they said that we should be able to just add it. Transit gateway. There it is. If you don't trust, just always, you can go ahead and do that. We'll save that. There are errors indicating the route. 00 already exists. We'll go back. And I guess the idea is that we're not supposed to put 000 here. We're supposed to put whatever the destination we want it to be. So that's going to be whatever the transit gateway address is, I believe. So here it says that transit gateway destination, enter the destination range, address range. So we'll go back over to our transit gateway. And its IP address range is what? Does it tell us? What will we enter in for that? So I would assume that we would have entered in the IP address of the transit gateway. Just give me a moment, okay? All right, so one I thought I had is if we go back over to our attachments, I wonder if we can attach something like an IGW. Now, I don't think you can, but I don't really remember what the attachments were, so let's go take a look here. We'll create a transit gateway. And no, we don't have that. So I was thinking that that might have been an option, so let me just keep looking, okay? All right, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go ahead and take a guess here and do my best. And so what I think is that we're going to edit these route tables, and we're going to just target the other address. So if this one's 10, we'll say, or 12, we'll say 10 here. 10, 16. We'll go ahead and try that. Again, never said I was a wizard at networking, but as long as we can get through this here, we'll be in good shape. We'll go ahead and edit this route table. 12.0.0.0/16. And this one will go out to our internet gateway. And so I'm thinking that maybe that's how we communicate with each other, by saying, hey, we're looking at the destination here in the internet gateway, and it's going to route it to the correct VPC. I was thinking that because there was a CIDR block, that maybe you would specify the CIDR block of the VPC, and then you could treat everything as the same network. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I'm not sure if I'll even test that to find out, but I think that's sufficient. We'll go over to GitHub, okay? And we'll go over to our repo as per usual. So I want to go to AWS examples, and we need two different instances. And I think what we can do is go over to our period connection, because these are exactly what we need. So I'm just going to, off screen here, open up my downloads folder, if that's okay with everybody. And once I have that going, I'm going to just hit period here. I'm going to download these two templates. And what we'll do is go over here to EC2, or sorry, to CloudFormation. Apparently I have EC2 from earlier, unless this is Baco. Let me just double check here, as this time might indicate something Baco was doing. This is from 2017. Is this EC2 instance still here? I just couldn't delete the security group because maybe it was in use or something. I'm just going to clean these up. I'll be back here in just a moment, okay? Anyway, sorry about that, but we'll go ahead and create our stack here. And so we'll have to have one for A and one for B. So for A, We will upload, obviously, the A template. So EC2A. Transit. This stuff will have to be updated, so that is a minor thing that we'll have to take care of here. Make our way over to our VPCs. And then I'll also need the subnet. Next. Next. Acknowledge. Submit. And we'll go ahead here and do the next one. And we'll go ahead and hit next. Before I do that, I'm just going to put transit on the end here. And we'll create that one. And so we'll just wait for those instances to spin up, okay? All right, so those are both deployed. And one of these are going to have our server installed, and the other one's not. So I think since it has an instance profile, is going to be the one with the server that we're going to log into. So we'll make our way over to EC2. And I'm just hoping that this works. That'd be great if it just does. And so one is A and one is B. Which is which? That is the question. So here, does it show our resources here? This instance is A. Okay, so that is login, like server. And then this one is website. And we'll go over here to this one. We'll see if we can connect to it. Hopefully we can without issue. It's always great when we can connect to it. We'll say sudo su-ec2 user. And we'll type wget. We learned in another video, it was like Q0 is what we want to type. Q for quiet, 0 to display. And then the trick of it was that we needed to have a hyphen in between here. So go here, hyphen Q0. And we'll hit enter. And so we are hitting that public IP address. The question is, can we hit the private one? Because if the private one works, then we know that the transit gateway is working. That's how we would know. So go ahead and do this. We have to type it right, otherwise it's not going to work. I have to make it a 0, or sorry, an O and not a 0. So it's not working, and so that means that there must be something wrong with my transit gateway. So just give me a moment to figure this out, all right? All right. Oh, sorry, yep, still working on it. Apparently there might be something called route propagation that we need to set. So let me see if I can figure that out. Let's make our way over to transit gateway again. So we'll go back over to our VPC section here, VPC. And on the left-hand side, I'm looking for transit gateway. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can modify this, or just see if there's anything for propagation. We have propagation route table, default route, propagation route table. So it seems like it would be propagating. I can't imagine there's any other setting in here. Automatically accept cross-account attachments. We aren't doing that, so we don't need to do that. Let's go over to our route table. Propagations. If we click into this, yeah, I'm not really sure why. So let me just debug it a bit further. You know, one thought I had is maybe it's an issue with our security groups. Now, I can't imagine that would be the case because I would think that would allow traffic from anywhere. But let's just go take a look and double check our EC2 instances for our security groups and see what is allowed to be occurring here. So if we go here and take a look at our server and we take a look at networking and, security. We're looking at inbound rules and says allow from anywhere. So it's completely wide open. There should be no limitations here. We'll go over to our website. We'll go to security. And this one is saying inbound from anywhere. And from anywhere, just because I'm not 100% confident with this one, I'm going to go ahead and edit it. Yeah, it's from anywhere. So there's no reason for this not to work. And they both have internet gateway, so they're both going out to the internet. So that's really interesting. I'm going to go back and log into the other EC2 instance and just see if we get some kind of different result. Maybe it will just suddenly work for no particular reason. But it suggests that it auto-propagates, so I'm not exactly sure what else it would want. Sudo su-ec2 user. And we'll go ahead here and we'll type in something. wget, we'll go ahead and try that again. From the other perspective here, I'm going to grab this public IP address, which we know already works, but I'm going to go ahead and try it again. w0, or hyphen, and then paste this in, the link, or the IP address. QO. There we go. And now we'll just switch that out. So this will be 12.0.13.11. 12.0.13.11. Double check that. That is correct. We'll hit enter. And it's not resolving. So I guess there is something wrong here. I'll just keep looking. Okay. I mean, we are using IPv4, so this could be an opportunity for us to use the reachability analyzer. I'm not sure if it'll actually work in this use case, but I'm going to go ahead and try it anyway. And maybe it might tell us something. So what we'll do is we will go to Network Manager, and then from here we have the Reachability Access Analyzer. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new analyze path. We'll just say Transit Gateway. And I'm going to go ahead and choose. So we have our source, like where is it coming from? And the idea is that we want to reach one instance to another. So I would say this instance. That's from the server. And then our path is going to be from we could choose an attachment. I'm going to try this first and see if that works, because what I'm interested in is whether, because like if we could choose the other instance, I'm almost certain that it would say like, yes, we can reach it, because it might go out through the internet to find out, right? So I guess we'll do a simple one here and just say instance to instance and see what happens. But I suspect that should work. And if that doesn't work, we'll try and say go to attachment gateway, or if it doesn't give us any useful information, we'll try that next type of analysis, okay? All right, let's take a look here at our reachability status and see what it might show us. What's useful is it will show us a path. So here we start with an instance. 12.0.13.11. So this would actually be, oh, have I been getting this backwards the entire time? So we have website here. This one's 12. This one's 10.06.17. Wait a second. We can connect to this one, but we can't connect to that one. What's going on here? Is this the, hold on here. Is this one with the website? No. Have I just been doing it backwards this entire time? So at least we know what's going on here, because it says server 12.0.13.11, and that's what we've been putting in as our address. So maybe our problem isn't the fact that it's not working. The problem is it's user error maybe. So we'll go ahead here and just type in clear, and I'm gonna just try this again. Okay, this is server. Jeez, and this is website. Yep. And fingers crossed that this just works. I'll be happy if it does. I don't care if I was wrong. I just care that I figured it out. Enter. And we didn't get any errors per se. Build connections. We're getting port 80. I'm going to go back over to here for a moment. Let's grab this public IP address. Just open it up another tab. Does this resolve into a website? Which one's the one with the website? Is it suggesting that the same server is the website? Because if it is, that's really silly. I'm going to go ahead and open this up again. All right, so the instance that I can log into is the same one that has the instance profile. No. So this one is the website. Okay, so this one is the website. That is confusing. So this is the website. Which is on 12.0.13.11. And this is the server. So I'll change this back to normal here. I'm going to close these out, make sure I'm not confused. We're going to test this one more time. I'm going to connect to the server. I thought maybe it wasn't because the other one wasn't showing the gray check mark, but maybe again I'm just confused here today. We're going to go ahead and copy the private IP address. We're going to do sudo su-ec2 user. I'm going to go ahead and do wconnect -q capital O -space paste, enter, and it doesn't seem like it's going to resolve, which is totally fine. So let's go back over to the access analyzer, and so we have the outbound header starting from the server, and this one here is 10. So I'm just reading this wrong. It actually is going, the destination is where we want it to go. It's giving full port range, which is totally fine. 6553535. Shouldn't we specify that port to be very specific? It seems like a very narrow port, so I'm not 100% sure about that. It goes to the ENI, which goes to the security group, which goes to the ACL, which goes through public, which goes out to the ACL, which goes to the ENI, and it's actually passing through the transit gateway, which is great. Unidirectional path analysts only. The results include forward path analysts from the source and destination. There might be a blocking configuration in the reverse path that could not be analyzed. So what does that mean? That it doesn't know if it worked and it didn't necessarily failed, or it's not sure? Well, here's the thing is it's trying to make it to that instance, right? So we'll go back over to here and we'll just take a look here and read thoroughly. The result included forward path analysis from source and destination. There might be a blocking configuration in the reverse path, which could not be analyzed, which means what would happen if it went back the other way? Would it work? That's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to go set this up again, as I really want to make sure that when we analyze this path, we just be a bit more thorough in terms of what we can configure here. So my transit gateway test 2. And so here I'm going to choose the instance. It actually did go through as I hoped it did. And I'm going to be very specific. I want port 80, port 80. You can optionally specify the packet header details of the traffic to evaluate the network reachability. Destination path, this one's going to be instance. And again, it's going to be port 80, port 80. I feel like we could configure these, but I don't want to fiddle with those. It is TCP, so if it knows that the protocol is TCP, it should expect it to return that and check. We'll go ahead and try this again. And the destination here is the website. We'll go ahead and type create an analysis path, and we'll wait for this to complete, okay? So we ran that, and let's just go take a look here and see what it looks like. So in the outbound header, we can see the port range is now 8080. It's going through the ENI, it's going through the security group, it's going through the ACL. It's going through the this one, through that ACL, the ENI, the transit gateway. And then we have our inbound header, which is from 12, 13, 11, 32, which is correct, as it came through that one over there. And here we see 8080, TCP, etc. So, I mean, it looks like it's reaching it, but it's not returning anything. So, that's a bit tricky. Because we know that when we used the VPC peering, it definitely worked. So I'll just look some things up, okay? One other thing that I'm noticing here is it says no route to destination. So route table does not have an applicable route to the TGW. So it's suggesting in this one here, it doesn't have a route. Are they sure about that? So we'll go over to here, to this table. We'll check table A, we'll look at routes. Oh, well, maybe that is our problem. Okay, I'm going to edit this. I think maybe because it's so similar, that's our problem. Let's go ahead and try this. Was that it? Let's go the other way and make sure that's the case as well. TGW, good. Let's go back to Reachability Analyzer. Just going to close this session out because we haven't used it for a while. We'll go back here. I'm going to try this one again. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to analyze the path. I'll confirm it. And so maybe this time it will work. Going to refresh here. So just wait a moment, okay? All right, so this one wasn't reachable. Let's go take a look here. It might actually still work, but now we're starting to see something here. So in the route table, route from 120016 to the route table cannot transmit the packet because the packet destination address matches a more specific route with a destination CIDR of 1200/16. So hey, at least we're getting somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. Maybe it wants a smaller CIDR block as the range. So let me see what I can do. I'm going to try to make a change, and then if I get some success, I'll show you. Well, wait, hold on. Let's just go to the route tables here for a moment. And this one says the IGW is here, and local is 120016. So this one is going in the opposite direction, so that is right. Let's go this way. Is this one going in the correct direction? It's still wrong. Wow, I'm so bad at routing. So, okay, IGW 0000. That makes sense, right? We go to this one, and now it's even more mucked up because the transit gateway is supposed to be, this is supposed to be flipped around. So this one should be the internet gateway. Okay. And then this one should be the transit gateway. We'll save it. And we'll go back over to our reachability analyzer into our path. And just so I'm not getting mixed up, I'm just going to delete these older ones because I'm not using these anymore. And we'll give this a refresh here. And so I'll click into this one. And I'll analyze path. And then hopefully this time I'll get a better result. We'll find out here in just a moment, okay? All right, so after waiting a little while, and by the way, make sure you hit the refresh because it doesn't always tell you. It now says it's reachable. So we can go here and everything looks really good. Now it does still have that same warning, which is totally fine. But now we can see a direct path of analysis. So what I'll do, and I just got pop-ups appearing here. So I'm just going to get this to not be so annoying. There we go. That's better. Let's go back into our web server as we did before, or sorry, our just server, not our web server. And we'll attempt to see if we can reach the actual website that is running that basic page. So here we'll type in sudo su-ec2 user. And I'm going to go ahead and type in wget q0 and paste in this link here. And there we go. So now Transit Gateway is working. And on a side note, we got to utilize Reachability Analyzer. So let's go ahead and tear down these servers and clean up, as we are 100% done here. So we'll go to our instances, and I'm going to terminate 2 of them. I'll leave this third one alone because I assume Bako is trying to solve one of our cloud networking challenges. This cloud networking stuff has been extremely difficult for me because I'm just not great at troubleshooting networking issues. But you can see we can get through it, so that's all that really matters. And I don't know why I terminated the instances, as we need to just delete the CloudFormation stacks. So we'll go ahead and delete those. And I mean, since the instances are stopped, we should be able to go and tear down the VPC Transit Gateway. I'm not sure if it would remove everything, but let's see if it is smart enough to do that. It probably will tell us to remove everything individually. Yeah, so we'll have to get rid of the attachments first. And we'll get rid of this attachment. Okay, so those are deleting, and we'll just wait a little while here, okay? All right, let's see if these have deleted. And they are now deleted, so we'll go back over to our Transit Gateway. We'll go ahead and delete the Transit Gateway, see if that works. Excellent, we'll wait for that to delete. All right, so the Transit Gateway is deleted. We're gonna make our way back over to our VPCs and see if we can go ahead and delete those. So we'll get rid of A and say delete. And we'll get rid of B and say delete. And there you go. That is Transit Gateway.